Okay, welcome to video 2 lesson here on how to write a community activity proposal and what a band 3 one should look like. One of the first things I think you need to realize is that on this Edmodo group here, there is a load of resources here for you. There's a video about writing a community activity proposal made with Video Scribe, which goes through different parts of putting that together for you for your research. And then within here, all these little posts, okay, you need to scroll through and look at them. So there's advice on planning your project. So learning outcome 1, I've just gone over here. There's some extra advice there. You know, managing risks. So there's risk management. There's some links to videos that are useful for you to help you plan when you're doing this. You can watch these videos when you're in your controlled assessment to help you write these sections up. So there's lots of stuff here. In here, we've got the whole area of skills audits and learning outcome 2. Crucial element of the community activity proposal. I often write it as CAP. Okay, so if you see the word CAP, that's the proposal you're writing up. Personal development plans, SMART targets, all these things. Learning from your results, how to put a personal plan together. Lots of information in here for you. Further down here, Gantt charts. There's you've got different attachments in here, how to write them up, what a Gantt chart is if you're struggling to come to terms with that. Success criteria and planning for feedback. I've made a video here on that for you on how to put those together. Project success criteria, writing aims and objectives. So there's a lot of stuff here. I think for a lot of students this can be a little bit overwhelming. They don't know where to start and what to do. My advice would be to work on it bit by bit, okay? And don't worry about another part until you're happy with completing the one that you're on at the moment, okay? And the best way to do that is in the pinned post here. We've got the checklist, okay? As I say here, this is your best friend because it's essentially taken the tasks I showed you in the previous video and expanded them a little bit for you and put them against what learning outcome we'll judge them. So here we've got the dates because I'm often asked the dates. So your community activity proposal is on November the 11th, okay, and your reflection presentation on March 10th. And the activities that you'll do here. Now, it's not to say that when you go through and you see all these, especially these little minor bullet points, etc., if you miss little bits out, you know, it's not going to impact greatly. But I think if you covered everything that's in this checklist, okay, in your proposal when you write it up, and you do a good job of doing that, and importantly that the task that you're doing allows you to be comprehensive and well structured. You know, if you're still going to insist on picking up litter, you're not going to be able to write a lot about it, okay? Whereas if you're planning an event or you're going to be doing any kind of teaching that's reasonably complex yourself, that you're planning and organizing, then it you know, any of that kind of coaching is going to be extremely detailed. Okay, so let's start off. Okay, we'll have a look at the learning outcome 3. All right, the activity summary. An overview of the challenge you're going to complete done at the end. I know this seems a bit strange to say done at the end when it's at the start, but this is quite a common thing when writing academic papers, etc., that you have the summaries. They're often called executive summaries, and they're put at the end when the whole thing's been put together and the person that's written them extracts little pieces from the whole thing and places it at the start of the summary, okay? So it's an overview. It's important the moderator, your teacher, when they're marking this, we need to understand what it is you're going to be doing, okay? You're going to be talking future tense for most of this because it's the proposal at the start. So then a small introduction just to get going, an aim of it, the timescales, when you're going to be starting, when roughly you're going to be finishing. These things, again, are not set in stone. Dates, things will adapt and things will change, and we expect that to happen. And a brief description of the activities that you're planning on doing. All right, so a little start here just to get going. Okay, and then we've got some general stuff here. Now, this is where the temptation has come for a lot of copy and paste. Okay, stuff found on the internet, exemplar projects. Be very careful with this. So, series of questions basically, for you to ask, okay, and for you to plan for. So what is a community? So you should go in with research, with a good researched paragraph of information on that. If you are taking anything from the internet or from books or anything else, you must reference where it comes from. You must do that, otherwise you could get into a little bit of bother. What community are you working with? So who are they? Year 7 art club, year 5 in the endowed, you're working with a Seren project. Whatever they are, we need to know who the community is. And within that community, who are the people that you wish to work with? Is there a targeted group within that? Why have you chosen this project? What interests you? Why have you selected it to do that? What does your community want? What are the community's needs? Well, you could get a little questionnaire to do that. You could set up a little few interview questions. Again, you'd be planning to do this. You don't have to have the results of it within your proposal, okay? So if you were going to be coaching, I don't know, the year 7 football team, perhaps you could plan to sit down with them first and ask, what do you need? What do you want? Where do you think your weaknesses are? You could do that by speaking to the teacher of that the person that normally works with them. So you can develop a plan. It's something you may want to know anyway before you do this, but it is something else you could plan for. How do you expect the impact of your contribution to that community? And do you have the necessary skills to carry the activity out for your community? Okay. It is highly unlikely that you're going to be able to do everything you need. If you're coaching, how many of you have coached before or taught, for example? Do you know how to put a lesson plan together? Do you know how to structure things? Do you know what to do if something goes wrong? Do you know what to do if pupils are misbehaving, etc.? So you must, just make mention of it here. You don't have to plan on how to change it, but it's good just to make mention in here. Then your research conducted before the assessment. You can bring all this in. Existing schemes and projects related to community challenge. So what other stuff's out there that's similar? What evidence is there out there of how working with communities and volunteering and putting schemes together has positive impacts? Okay. Any of this sort of stuff you can find in newspapers, websites, anything like that, research papers. So nice sections of research of similar projects and how they benefited those communities on there. You'll find loads. You should be able to find lots of stuff online for that. So let's have a look at what that looks like when you write it up. Again, don't steal any of this stuff, okay? So we'll have a look at this one. You can see this is a 28-page, 6,141 words piece of work. This got some annotations from us here on the side before we sent it off. So there's their activity summary. Gives us the idea that the student was working with year 7 students, okay, and what they were doing. And then some introduction on what is community, giving stuff back to society. This is okay because this is the Oxford Dictionary definition, so you could all use that, but you must reference it and say that's where it's come from. There's a little bit of understanding of what that means. So the student has sort of expanded on this. And again, over here you can see we've taken from the mark scheme LO3, comprehensive understanding of the meaning of community goes into that. Do not copy and paste this. Keep saying that. Benefits to community. So we've got quotes here, and how, who's done community projects before, is emphasizing how projects they've done has had benefits. You can see again here, they're often in italics. Look where they're using quotes and research from different places. Again, this one is reference here. Koza et al. 2014 identified how community helps. And again, there's analysis afterwards. This is the student's own work. It's not just anybody can kind of copy and paste, but it's interpreting this again here to push you up into band 3, comprehensive and effective understanding of the purpose and benefits of community participation. Okay, so you've got to try and formalize what you believe that to be and put that through into there. Okay, there's a little bit of personal background here from the student on why they've chosen this project. Okay. Based on their own experiences and why they believe what they do is going to be of benefit in there. And we've got some research here now. Prior activities is an activity called Water Fire, which is Rhode Island, which is in America, that she found. This is a project Boston. Okay, so we can see, and there's a reference to it there, the benefits of the club, that they were doing art and why art is good, who they're targeting, why they're targeting, the why is important here. And then a little bit of information here on the, remember we just discussed on the skills needed to lead this club and what they feel they need to be able to do. Okay, kind of moving into LO2 there. So there's a good start to a community activity proposal there. You know, from the checklist that I showed you, that you've got, we've sort of covering all these areas here. You don't have to follow things exactly, you know, in order. You can swap and change. This is just a guideline, like a tick box basically, to make sure that you're covering all those parts. Okay, so that's part one there, where for the checklist. LO3, okay, learning outcome 3, and how to set up and how to do these. I think the main thing to target from this is to always analyze your own opinions based on the research that you've got. You always using the words why, not just what you're doing. Okay, good students, band 3 students, will always further explain to make it more of a comprehensive understanding where they're going into the why element of benefit and community. So you need to be well prepped before the proposal, okay, on these areas here. Make notes, web diagrams, mind maps, etc. So you know exactly what you're going to write before you go in, or you've got a really good idea that what you're going to write is comprehensive and detailed. Nice bit of research to go in. Don't go over the top. 2 projects probably would be enough, because you'd be writing for ages otherwise. Okay, so in the next video, we'll look at LO2 skills audit and what we'd be looking for with regards to that one. Okay, so I'll see you in part 3.